Good morning, live from Hanapepe. My name is Seth Womble. These are CANversations, brought to you by the Spirit of Can. Today we have a young and very inspiring climber with big goals we're going to be speaking to, seeing what he's been up to over the last few weeks. Talk to him about some of the things that might have been hard, some of the things that he's been going through, as well as things that he's looking forward to as far as making plans with the Spirit of Can and moving forward step at a time. We are going to see if we can call in Bryce. Let's see, where is he? Good morning, everybody. Live and direct with Bryce. Good morning. There he is.
Hey, Seth. How's it going?
All right, man. How's that hair?
I know. Quarantine hasn't been able to let me cut my hair.
It's
So I'm just
fantastic.
rocking it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go with it. I got to
Yeah.
cover mine
Yep.
up, that's just the way it goes.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay.
Well, good morning. This is my first time to speak to you face to face like this
It
live.
is.
We've had a few
Yeah.
phone calls, but that's about it. So let's go ahead and jump right in. And if you could give us a little
Okay.
bit of a briefing, tell us who you are and how you got to where you are today.
Okay. My name's Bryce Cottonello Kalani Markle-Amaral. Now that name comes with a lot of struggles, because when you're filling out forms that only have a little space, it's kind of hard to fit that name on there. But I'm originally from Oahu, Hawaii, but then moved to Aloha, Oregon, when I was kind of younger, and then grew up most of my life in Oregon. And just growing up, I played a lot of sports, a lot of different sports. I loved competing. Just love that aspect of just doing physical activities and stuff. And not until later down the road, I started climbing, and then that just kind of hooked me, and that's what I've been doing ever since. So that's definitely a big part of my life, rock climbing. But then I'm also a student. I go to University of Oregon, and I'm studying product design.
Product design.
So,
All right.
yeah.
And do you have other family and stuff there in Oregon where you are? Are you there on your own?
Yeah, my parents are here, but then most of my other family is all back in Hawaii. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
So did
Yep.
you pick up climbing while you were still in Hawaii, or is that something that came into your life a little bit later on when you got onto the mainland?
Later on, yeah, not until I was here. I was 11 when I started climbing.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
pretty young.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yep. Definitely not as young as some people. There's some people that I compete with that ever since they could walk, they were competing and stuff. So
Wild.
it's all good. It's all good.
Wild.
Mhm.
Yeah, I absolutely love climbing. The mental challenging aspect, the physical aspect, all of those things.
Mhm.
We've been talking with a few other people over the last few days and talking about achieving that flow state and stuff like that. And I think that climbing is definitely one of those things that puts you there pretty quickly.
Oh, for sure. For
Cool.
sure. Yeah. Yeah, climbing is definitely way more than just physical for me and stuff. When I climb, just my mind goes blank, and you get into that flow state that you're talking about. And it's like, it just puts your mind at ease, when life stresses kind of happen and things are thrown at you. It just allows you to take a break, take a step back from everything,
Yeah.
and do something that I enjoy doing. So
We are
yeah.
definitely going to talk some more about climbing, especially with your goals and things like that, and how it's been helpful for you in this time.
Totally.
Sometime during this broadcast, we are going to do a giveaway. So I've got a couple of hats here
Sweet.
that we're going to basically ask a question, and the first person to put a comment in there to answer the question will send you guys some gear. It's as easy as that. So
All right.
let's go ahead and check in, because obviously we're talking long distance here, and this is the way we're having to do
Mm-hmm.
things often, even with our neighbors right now. So what's this last few weeks been like for you, or months? It's really kind of gone into 2 months now, and obviously things are strange. So
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
highlight a
definitely.
few things that you had to give up, or some things that were harder for you going into this period of weeks.
Okay. So definitely, usually when I train, I climb indoors. That's how just competitions work and stuff. It helps me be able to practice things that are more specific to competitions themselves. Um, so obviously when quarantine kind of happened, all the gyms closed. So I no longer get to climb inside anymore.
That's huge for
And
you.
yeah, it's a bummer because like I was climbing like or doing climbing stuff 6 days a week, a few hours every day. Um, and then it just kind of stopped. So that was definitely, it hit pretty hard. A lot of the climbing community, um, like they obviously want to get back to it too. All my teammates and stuff, I miss all of them. Um, yeah, so all that kind of happened. Obviously, there's still outdoors to climb, um, but still, like just following safety things and all that. Um, it's still hard to get out to go climbing and stuff, and
Some
it's
new
just not
challenges.
this. Yeah, and it's just not as it's not totally the same as trying to train specifically for competitions. So that kind of hit me, and then it actually everything closed. I think the day right before my birthday, so it was the first birthday in like years that I didn't get to climb,
Happy
like on the
birthday.
on the day. Thank you, thank
Yeah.
you, thank you.
Well, shoot.
So like that all happened, and like definitely, I feel like many of us and stuff, quarantine has kind of had its ups and downs with hobbies and even just life in general, goods and bads. Um, like I definitely had some pretty low points just because it gets tough being stuck in one location. In one of my videos that I made, I kind of talked about how your biggest motivator, but also your biggest critic is your own mind.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in these times when you're secluded, you like all those thoughts start happening, good and bad. So it takes it takes you yourself being able to believe like I can get through this, I can persevere.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had those moments. Those are behind me, and I was kind of over it. So I wanted to get back into training and not focus on the things I can't control. So just be ready for when everything does start up, because I'm coming back strong.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
Well, I think
yeah.
it's really important to highlight that we have hard times. People see
Hmm.
these, motivational speakers or positive affirmations and brands and things like that, and lots of people talking about, stay positive, do good. But I mean, nobody's like that all the time. That's not the reality of it.
Yeah.
There is a
Hmm.
pendulum swing to the way that things feel and the way that things happen in life. So you can't just be, if you're really in the muck and the mire and you're seeing a bunch of people telling you to be positive, sometimes that just makes you even more cynical. So it's really
Yeah.
good to hear that people like you do have a hard time and you do get through it, and it's not that you ignore that and you don't pretend like those times don't exist. You use them to get you stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Like, uh, just with my past competitions and stuff, I had an injury, not too long ago. So then it was getting kind of frustrating because I just wasn't back to where I was. But like each competition or each time that like I was struggling and wasn't able to do it, like it just made me want to train harder, get back to where I was, get beyond where I was.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So it's definitely something to work on.
Yeah, for all of us, and we can definitely relate to that.
Yeah.
So, well,
Mhm.
specifically with the climbing stuff and competition, that's a world that I don't know anything about, and maybe some of our listeners
Okay.
don't either. But so you get specific things that you train for. I guess first, have you been able to set up something for yourself to do, not to replace it, but to help
Yeah.
you train still? What are you doing right now to replace
Just
the
lots.
gym?
lots of door frames, you know. No, a lot of people, it's actually funny. There's a lot of like jokes about that where climbers are climbing things around their house. Like there's so many videos where they're just like on cabinets and on counters and stuff.
I love it. That's good.
I totally feel that. Like anytime when I go and open the fridge and my hand grabs the handle, then I like have flashbacks of climbing, you know? Yeah. Yeah. So I have this like thing called a hangboard. It's like a training thing that's made out of wood. It basically has different sized slots for your fingers, and it hangs on top of a pull-up bar and stuff. And so that's like a key thing that I feel like a lot of people are trying to utilize to keep their finger strength and stuff. I know some people that have built their like walls in their backyards and stuff. And I see videos and things like that. And I'm like, kind of jealous, you know? But it's okay. It's all good. It's pretty cool how much creative people get when all these, like boundaries are kind of placed on them, you know, all these like things that keep them from doing what they're normally used to. Then they starts forcing them to do things that they don't normally do, you know?
Totally. Yeah. This has been a common theme in some of these conversations as well, is that, we globally have been given opportunity to slow down. Often we don't slow down unless we get injured or sick or forced to. And then, there seems to be a couple of different camps of people. And one of those camps of people is taking this time, this extra time to apply towards growing and maybe trying some new things and experimenting or getting creative, like music and writing and poetry. And
exactly.
People are definitely getting creative right now. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely worth thinking about and talking about.
I totally agree. Yeah. Like I feel like everyone, like no matter if they're famous and are like living this life that is so different than everyday people, like everyone has been stripped to just their like basic needs, you know. We're all living in that same exact state right now. So it's kind of interesting, like just to see everyone stepping down from their normal day lives and connecting more with like their community as people, you know, not as like, oh, this business worker or all this like famous person or whatever, but as human beings, you know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
Even in a meeting sense like this, I've been having plenty of Zoom meetings and things with all kinds of official people, and they're all in their homes with their dogs, their screaming children, and the neighbor mowing the lawn. You know, this is the way we're doing it now, and it's kind of cool. We have to integrate our personality into one unit instead of being the business side of yourself and then the family side of yourself. You're gonna have to try to bring all those things together and focus on those core values. It's hard, and it's really, really wonderful all at the same time. Huh? Yeah,
sometimes I feel like when we get all caught up in everyday lives and stuff, we forget like that everyone's living their own life that's similar to what we're living, you know, with struggles and all of that. So.
Well, so you're one of the youngest guests that we've had on so far, and you are still going through college, correct?
I am. Yes.
What year are you in?
I'm a sophomore. Yeah.
Sophomore. So maybe highlight a little bit of that, because that's going to be really relatable for a lot of college kids, people that are studying things like that right now. What's that been like for you?
So it's been weird, you know, going from normal college day life, seeing so many different students, so many students around me, to basically a computer screen, you know. It's tough personally for me because I'm a big procrastinator and stuff. So now with Zoom meetings and things online, more pressure is kind of put on myself to keep up with deadlines, you know, because there's not a specific place that I need to be like every week and stuff. It's more of like a notification on my computer that says this is due, you know. So there's that aspect that's been pretty tough. So I'm sure a lot of people that are on like doing online classes, it's just different for them, especially if they're paying a lot for college. They're trying to get the best education that they can. And this uncontrolled event kind of abruptly hits them. But yeah, I watched the other interview, the CANversations that you had, and I agree that my heart goes out to all the seniors and stuff. I have some friends who are high school and college seniors, and it's a bummer that they don't get the traditional graduation, but I know they can make the best of it with this situation, and I just hope the best for them,
Yeah, we all do, for sure. Especially, we're going to need a lot of their help coming into these next generations, these next years coming up. So, with that said, do you have any advice for how to stay motivated and get your work done for the things that, like we used to have to show up for class or whatever, but now it's just get this assignment in. What works for you? How do you stay on top of that?
So I said I'm a procrastinator. So usually the due date is a good motivator, but I don't know, just setting aside time that you're not distracted by anything else, is definitely key, especially when you're just chilling at home. There's like other things that you want to be doing other than just doing homework,
Yeah.
So if you just set aside time to get it done, knock it out, then you don't need to worry about it.
Yeah. So do you keep any kind of a routine like that? There's a lot of people going into this time, what's been helpful for them is to set up a semi-regular, dependable routine, to keep yourself on some sort of track. Is there something like that you do?
Yeah. So I'm really taking this time to, focus on training as much as I can. So my routine is kind of based on that. So I'll wake up. I'm definitely not an early bird. I like to sleep in. My whole life I've just been sleeping in, so I don't wake up early to work out. So I'll wake up like a good, midday, 12 p.m. I had to wake up early for this call.
Thanks for getting up today, Bryce. Appreciate it.
Yeah. This is my bed hair, actually. So no. So I usually wake up, and then on weekdays I'll do some cardio in the morning. That's like 20 minutes or so. Eat, go do whatever else I need to do, and then I have a specific routine. So certain days, whether it's hangboarding, like the thing that I talked about earlier, or maybe it's a leg day or biceps or whatever. And then so I'll go and do that later on throughout the day.
Right on.
So that's been kind of my routine and stuff. I actually have a whiteboard that I use. Definitely, like I'd say something that helps me is to write stuff down. So at my apartment, I'm visiting my parents right now, but at my apartment, I have this giant whiteboard, and I'll just write down like what I need to do for the day. I'll write down what workouts need to get done. And that way visually I could just like see, okay, this is what I need to do. This is the order I need to do it in. And like even crossing out things on a list, like something in the brain makes you go like, yeah, like I did something, I accomplished something.
I agree.
So I totally feel like writing things down is a key thing to do. And I'll even write quotes on there too, like motivational quotes. Because sometimes you just need that little pep talk, so I think that's the best way to keep a routine.
Nice. Yeah, really good stuff there.
Thanks.
Oh, really good. You kind of already started to highlight there the next segue into, so you talked about what you had to give up a bit, and some of the routines and things that you've set up, and then goal setting. You, from what I understand, have some pretty big goals.
I do.
And
I do.
For some people, some people wake up one day and they're like, this is what I got to do. Other people, they discover it slowly. Other people get inspired and they figure it out. You ready to talk about what some of your goals are? I know you've been putting them out there.
I I would be happy to talk about my goals. Yeah. Um, so my goal is to go climb in the Olympics. Um, so 2020 was going to be the first year that the Olympics was going to be in the climbing was going to be in the Olympics. So I'm planning for 2024 is like the next one that it would be in, you know. Um, so that's kind of my goal. That's what I've always liked competing in general and just seeing how far I can push myself. I definitely feel like competition aspect. Like if you go into it with a great mindset and stuff, it's a really key tool to try and see what you're made of. You know, it's not necessarily always about comparing yourself to others, but more of like you yourself in those specific settings. You know. So yeah, so I wanna go to the Olympics. That's my dream. Definitely when you have goals that are like pretty big and down the road, you can't just have that goal and then take this crazy like blind path to try and reach there. You have to have these checkpoints. You have to have these tiny goals that will then lead up in this ladder to that final goal. So Olympics is down the road. Okay, I acknowledge it, and that's there. But then now I have to focus on what I need to do now. You know,
Chip away at it.
And chip away at it every day. You know.
What was that like? What was the track like for you going into the Olympics for this year? What was the pace like for that to have happened this year?
For me to compete, I probably wouldn't have competed this. I wouldn't have competed this year and stuff. Yeah, so I'd be training for like 2024 and stuff like that. But definitely this year was going to be when I was going to start open competitions, which is the basically a way that I would be able to like get my name out there and train in bigger competitions to then move to like worlds and then slowly try and get to the US team for the Olympics. Yeah. So we'll see how that all goes because I don't know when everything's gonna go back to normal and how all that will work, but I'll still be training and be ready for it.
Could be a whole new normal, whatever that is.
Whatever that is.
With that said, so a lot of the people that we're talking to are in some sort of competitive sport or things like that, and everybody's having to look at different ways to still have these competitions. So, for example, like bodyboard competitions and things like that, obviously they can do those kinds of things because they're out in the water. You don't have to have a crowd there. That's where things get sticky, is they still don't want people to get together too close socially. So a lot of these events draw crowds. Are there discussions within the climbing community to be able to still go on with competitions under some sort of social distancing rules or something?
So I feel like I did see something, but I'm not sure. But I feel like there was a few competitions that happened possibly, but then there was just no crowd. So that could happen. The tough part about climbing is that even with like climbing gyms opening up and stuff, is that everyone's touching the same things, you know, everyone's touching the same holds. So that's going to be an interesting thing for them to try and figure out. I'm not too sure exactly what they could do, but I'm sure they'll think of something.
That's where that creative problem solving is going to kick back in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool. What's like the rest of your day today look like for you? I mean, we got you up early now, so you're probably going to need a nap.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, you know. A couple hour nap, might need it. Yeah. I don't know, probably do cardio again today. Today is Friday.
Today's
Friday. Yeah. Friday is my think bicep tricep day. So I'll probably work with some dumbbells with those, resistance bands and stuff.
Cool.
So yeah,
You're
it's
making
actually
me feel
my,
lazy. I'm not going to do any of that.
it's okay. It's all good sometimes too. So sometimes we,
Sorry about that.
um,
Yeah.
it's actually my parents' anniversary today. So we'll
All
probably
right.
do something for them.
Congratulations
Yeah.
to your folks there. That's good.
Yeah. 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 So we'll
It's
see.
that's a big aspect for getting somewhere and doing things and aspiring for big goals is having some good support.
Oh,
So whether
definitely.
that comes from parents or partner or friends, things like that. Just thinking of you mentioning that it being your parents' anniversary, that's really awesome. They've been together a few years then.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's a super key thing, like support from peers. Like I would not be where I am today without everyone behind my back. Um, yeah, even if I have never met them, anyone on Instagram, everything, like they don't understand how much, like as simple as like a comment or like anything like that, like it just slowly supports me and motivates me to keep striving towards my goals. And I feel like a lot of people, um, or like myself and stuff, I learn a lot from other people. So like literally anyone, it doesn't matter who they are. I have learned something from them. Like they have inspired me in some shape or form. Um, just to kind of like help me build up myself to be who I am. So I just want to thank everyone for supporting me with that. Even if they don't even realize it, they've done it. Even you,
Yeah.
Seth, even you. Yeah.
And you, thank you. And I'll keep the circle going. We were speaking about
Yeah.
this a little bit with Kavehi yesterday, that whole ripple effect of acts. And whether it's a good act or a bad act, it's going to ripple effect out there into the world. And you really can't always do things on your own. But, the littlest thing, the littlest compliment, the littlest just looking at somebody in the eyes and telling them you appreciate them, that's huge
Oh,
for
for
some
sure.
people and for anybody and maybe more important than so it's good
Oh yeah.
to say those things.
Yeah. Even something as simple as a smile. You smile at one person, it makes their day. They start smiling at others. That's why I'm really excited, like that I get the opportunity to like work with CAN, because I feel like this message is so powerful. I feel like sometimes some people may not realize that they can achieve the things that they want to achieve. So I just hope that we can spread this message and make people believe it, because they
I
should.
agree. It's so simple, and it's not about positivity or motivating comments or anything like that. It's a simple truth. And when you get your mind wrapped on negativity and can't and things like that, you're gonna just continue to see those things. But when
Oh
you
yeah.
switch the gears and you think about chipping away at that bigger goal,
Yeah.
anything's possible. What do you
Anything's
do if
possible.
you find yourself in any kind of a negative state where you're thinking things might not go the way that you want them to,
Yeah.
or maybe you're on a wall and you're having a second thought about something? What do you do to change your
Yeah.
mind state in that moment?
Sometimes even just breathing, like just taking a step back, take a breath, just stop yourself in that moment and say, everything's going to be okay. Think about all the past obstacles that has happened in your life and where you are today. Like you've already overcome so many things that possibly could have been way worse than that exact moment. So this exact moment is not the end. It's not the thing that's gonna stop you.
Yeah.
It's just another obstacle. Yeah.
Often those
So,
obstacles become the beginning of something new, a path that you didn't
mhm.
see before,
Oh,
or
exactly.
a handhold that you didn't really see
Yeah.
that was right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so glad you brought that up because even with CAN, like maybe the things that you believe you can do and you strive for, like maybe as you're going through that thing, let's say even if you don't necessarily make it to achieving your goal, let's say I don't achieve my goal of going to the Olympics, but I gave my everything to achieve that goal. I can 100% guarantee that that journey towards going to the Olympics will have opened up so many other paths, so many other things that maybe interest me more. And I feel like that's key when talking with a lot of people that have goals and stuff. Like, yes, have these goals, strive for it, but along the way, like things can change, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like positive things can change, and that just means that your goals change, but that doesn't mean that the journey towards the goal should change.
You nailed it,
Yeah.
man. Absolutely. So many times beat our heads up against a wall, and there's that other option that's right there. If we just give ourselves a
Mm-hmm.
chance to breathe for a second
Mm-hmm.
and appreciate the moment and the journey
Yeah,
rather than being so destination minded, then we can figure out what that
exactly.
next step is. That may have been right there, and
Exactly.
we just were blind to it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Even if it's just a tiny step, like just beyond that step could be a leap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Often too,
Mm-hmm.
with failure, because we haven't actually talked about failure a whole lot, and really there's different ways to define that. And for me,
Mm-hmm.
it seems that the only failure is if you didn't try, if you didn't grow from that challenge or whatever it is. So
Mm-hmm.
often face things with different circumstances, and have spoken with people being let down that this thing didn't happen, and they felt so entitled and that it was so important that they achieved this thing that they just didn't see all those things that they learned along the way. So that can
Mm-hmm.
happen too. So you're talking about that journey, and your path can change a little bit, and you got to have that big goal
Yeah.
out in the front of you to work for, but you got to
Mm-hmm.
keep in the moment when you're on that journey with
Me
that goal
too.
in mind, because some
Mm-hmm.
people get to the end and then they didn't get that goal, and they're so caught up in that disappointment that it crushes them, and then they stop
Oh yeah.
right there. The whole
Mm-hmm.
can stops. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe there was another thing that was just behind there that was going to be so much more,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
I just got to stay ready.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw this picture of this thing, and there's these two miners, and they're digging for diamonds. And the miner on the bottom is like digging, 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 and then he just gets frustrated and just stops. But you can see that like if he had dug just one more, he would have reached those diamonds. And then the other miner kept going, stayed consistent, even when he had doubts and stuff. He just kept going, and he found it.
Yeah,
He got it. Mm-hmm.
beautiful analogies. Those are great. We got some more time, and I definitely want to do a giveaway. Do you have a doorway or
Okay.
anything there you want to do any demos with?
That I don't know. I might break my parents' door.
Can't do that on their anniversary
Yeah.
anyway. Okay,
Can't do it on the anniversary.
no
Just when
pressure.
when they go to sleep, I'll send you a video.
You guys, Bryce does have some amazing videos. He puts up cool stories, and for a man of your age and caliber, it's impressive. And I think that could be very inspiring for a lot of people, old and young. It's not about always doing everything perfectly. It's about doing the best that you can, and working
Yeah.
towards that goal. I have no doubt that you're going to be in the Olympics, and I don't think that the
Thank
Olympics
you.
would have been ready
Thank you.
for you even if it was going to be this year.
Uh,
So
thank
pretty
you. I
interesting
appreciate that.
that you've got some more time now to really see and
Hmm.
watch that first wave of Olympic climbers grow into the
Hmm.
sport with you. That'll be pretty awesome to watch for
Hmm.
sure. It's been
Thank
interesting
you.
seeing how surfing has been trying to get into that, and what Well, actually, I'm curious. What does a climbing competition look like? So they probably
Oh,
have to have
okay.
some standards, right? And then
Yeah. I
timing,
thought I,
style. What is it? How do they do it?
I thought you'd never ask, Seth. I'm so excited. No.
Okay,
Okay, so all right. Okay, I could talk about this all day, but I'll just kind of summarize it.
you're good.
So basically, in a competition, there's a bunch of routes. So routes are different paths that people take up a wall. So these different routes, um, depending on their difficulty, they are worth a certain amount of points. And then so there's judges and stuff. So if they see you complete this route and get to the top, then you get those points. And then they usually take between your top 3 or your top 5 highest scoring routes. And then those people go into like finals and all that kind of stuff. Where basically that same concept applies. Or, maybe like the higher that they get on a certain route, the more points that they get. So then that's how they kind of judge people. Yeah. So that's like the basic summary of that. As for the Olympics, it was going to be 3 disciplines of climbing: sport, bouldering, and speed. Bouldering is when you climb with no ropes. Sport is when you lead climb, which is when people are on like climbing up high walls and they pull up the rope and clip into things as they go up. So they clip into their safety. And then speed is when people climb the same route, but then obviously just see who can do it faster. So with the Olympics, that was going to be the 3 disciplines that people would have to do. And they would just take the overall top score for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's going to be super thrilling to watch.
Oh, it's going to be so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot of, I love watching competitions. Like a lot of it is on YouTube and stuff, or ESPN and things like that. So it's cool.
Well, and for you as a climber, you're watching somebody climb, and if you're looking at that wall, from the front, you're probably mind climbing the whole time yourself.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's so funny. One time I was watching a climbing competition and I was eating a sandwich, right? And then like I was watching the competition and I looked down at my sandwich and I like crushed it, like because I was just like watching them like grab the holds and I had like squeezed my sandwich. Yeah, but I feel like a lot of climbers can relate to this because when they're like watching people climb, like their hands, like my hands get sweaty. Like just thinking about, like right now, I'm thinking about climbing and my hands are getting sweaty. Where's my chalk at?
No kidding. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if there's anybody out there that has any questions for Bryce, we got a question section there. Hit the little question button there. We'll see if we can get a question out there for you. And in the meantime, let's go ahead and give away a hat. So I'm going to leave it to you to make a question if you want to, if something good strikes you. Otherwise, I've got one that's fairly easy that somebody could answer, I'm sure. But see if you can ask the group here that's watching something that we might have talked about during the feed, just to see if they were paying attention. We've got these 2 hats or some different apparel. We're going to send the first person to comment whatever answer to Bryce's question here we got.
Okay.
We're going to send you guys a hat.
Dang, I should have thought about this before. I knew that the giveaway was coming too. Is your question pretty easy?
Yeah, I like to have like a basic one, so that if you ask a really tricky one and nobody gets it, you stump them, then we can still throw one out there.
I was going to ask one, but I don't think I mentioned it, so I don't think people would answer it.
Ask anyway. I'll remember.
I don't think I said it in this video, though.
No worries.
I don't know. You can just go with your question.
All right. Well, I'll go to my next hardest one. Next
hardest one.
What is Bryce currently studying in Oregon?
That's a good one.
So he's obviously a climber. He's going to do amazing things in the vertical realm. But what is Bryce doing to educate himself right now in Oregon? What's he doing in college? See if we can get an answer for that one. There it is.
There it is.
Photo Favera. Do you know who that is?
I do know who that is.
Okay, good. Keep that person in mind, and we're going to make sure we get them some free apparel.
Okay.
Right.
Ooh, and some people came in late. They didn't answer quick enough.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You guys, we're going to do this some more. And Bryce, guaranteed, I think that these conversations are going to carry on. And what would be really cool would be to come around full circle, maybe in a couple of months or something like that. See how you've been sticking with your plans, how things have been going, and if any of your goals have shifted or changed, things like that. I think this is a really great process to get real with people and not only just be positive, but talk about how we overcome the things that are difficult. Because it's not like we don't get challenges all the time.
Exactly. Agreed. It's cool seeing many perspectives of others, in their disciplines, in their lifestyles, seeing how they're doing things so that you can implement it to yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anybody you want to thank or give a shout out to? We haven't been doing a whole lot of that. It's nice because we get to just keep the conversation going. But for sure, we were talking about having a support system. It's really important to let people know you appreciate them. So I'd love to give you that opportunity. I don't see any questions coming in here. So they just want to know about your big hair, it looks like.
Yeah, they're not wrong. Yeah. I just want to thank all my parents, all my family members, continuous support. So many people have joined in that I know, and that just shows like how much they're there for me. All my friends, all my teammates. I miss you guys. We're going to get crushing soon, back to climbing. I can't wait to go climbing with you guys. CAN and you, Seth, thank you for having this conversation. I feel like it's key when trying to inspire people. I think these conversations are good for that, good motivators. And then Andy, of course, he's a good dude. He definitely doesn't let the idea of a business get in the way of the meaning behind the business. So I think that's super key, especially with such a great message as CAN. So if you guys haven't followed CAN, do it.
Check them out. And if you guys are following CAN and you want to see some inspiring stuff, check this kid Bryce out, man. He's doing amazing things. Got quite the road ahead of him. We've got some other awesome ambassadors we're going to be speaking to, including Pete, who just chimed in there. As well as this afternoon, I'm going to be talking to Ashley. She's a runner that's been training for these incredible marathons. Super grateful for all of you guys. You inspire me, and I know that you're warming the lives of others by being who you are. So stay authentic, stay true. We're there for you. If anybody needs help from any of us, reach out. Just send us a message. See what we can do. We're here for you.
Definitely. For sure.
Yeah, bro.
Hey, I hope that one day I can meet you all in person, and we can all make some videos, make some cool YouTube videos.
I would love to get on the wall with you, because that sounds amazing.
Let's go climbing. That'll be so much fun.
That'd be really cool. Well, appreciate you very much, bro. I hope you have a blessed rest of your day and a great weekend. And check out www.spiritofcan.com. We are probably going to put these videos up, if not just on the website. We're going to try to find an avenue on YouTube, something like that too, because these are great and we like to keep them rolling around. Thank you for your time, bro.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me. It was nice talking to you, Seth.
All right. I look forward to seeing you in person. Not too long.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, brother. Be good.
Okay.
Aloha.
Yeah, you too. Take it easy.